Boa tarde, estamos no ar com mais um Enzima Live Show, nosso programa bissemanal aqui no canal da Pluri, onde a gente fala sobre inovação, tecnologia, digital, sobre startups, sobre esportes eletrônicos, enfim, todos esses assuntos que a gente tanto ama, sempre recebendo profissionais relevantes das indústrias do esporte e do entretenimento para trocar essa ideia com a gente. Antes de eu apresentar o nosso convidado especialíssimo de hoje, só lembrar a vocês que todas essas nossas conversas viram podcasts e vocês podem ouvir nas principais plataformas como o Spotify, o Deezer, o Google Podcasts. Se por um acaso vocês perderam essa conversa aqui no YouTube, elas ficam por aqui para a posteridade, mas se vocês preferirem ouvir essas conversas malhando, correndo, esses outros aplicativos são muito mais amigáveis. Como eu falei, convidado especialíssimo de hoje, Alen Paul Silverrstieen, ele que é o fundador e o CEO da Imaginear, uma empresa especializada em aplicações de realidade aumentada, que trabalha com várias organizações esportivas, e ele veio aqui falar um pouco sobre a empresa, sobre visão de futuro, sobre sobre as organizações que eles trabalham, mas principalmente sobre a importância e a aplicação dessa tecnologia dentro do esporte e do entretenimento. É com certeza, uma das tecnologias mais bacanas e mais disruptivas que a gente tem quando se trata aí de esporte, principalmente de relacionamento com fã. So, Alen, first of all, thanks for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, and welcome to Enzima.
Thank you very much, Philippe. Appreciate the time and excited to talk to you. And certainly my first interview with someone in Brazil. I do a lot of interviews, but obviously I made this background special just for our discussion today, because when we first spoke and you learned that one of my secret passions, and not many people know it, is I am a huge MMA UFC fan as well, going back to UFC 1.
That is perfect. We will talk a lot about MMA, but before we do that, I would like to ask you to tell us a little bit about your career before you started Imaginear.
Certainly. I've been an entrepreneur for years. I'm headquartered out of the United States and been in New York most of my life, pretty much, up until recently. I've always done entrepreneurial kind of startups. One of the first 4 to 5 people to start phone cards, prepaid phone cards in the United States back in the mid 90s. Started on my kitchen table, and I used to walk the streets and knock on doors to go sell them. And then I actually had a good luck opportunity where I actually had the opportunity to purchase and own the Muhammad Ali robe he wore in the Zaire fight against Foreman. I then sold that to one of the most renowned boxing promoters and managers in the history of boxing, Shelly Finkel. He became my partner, and then we ended up creating phone cards for Led Zeppelin, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, and many top licenses. And the company grew from my kitchen table to the middle of New York City in a big office, and actually went public on NASDAQ. From there, I also lived in India for 4 years with my wife. We ran 3 different companies, including a recruitment software solution company, which is still up and running today for technology to help companies find candidates for jobs. Also ran a post-production Hollywood studio. We did about 50, 60 movies in the US, like Pirates of the Caribbean, Spider-Man, Jurassic World. And besides those, I eventually came here to Imaginear, which is a Canadian public company. It's actually on the stock exchange of the CSE, the Canadian Stock Exchange. IP is the symbol. It's probably the only pure play AR company people can invest in today around the world. And we're also on the US exchange as well, under the symbol of OTCQB is the exchange, symbol IPNFF. So it's been a journey of a lot of entrepreneurial opportunities. And Imaginear originally started in the world of content and licensing, similar to Hollywood, of taking stories and selling them. But we decided to move the company fully into augmented reality a few years ago. And we have now just purely doing mobile AR, augmented reality, around the world with many clients, primarily focused in the sports and entertainment world.
That is perfect. That is perfect. So before we dive into Imaginear, I would like to talk about a passion that we both share, which is MMA. and people can see that you are really passionate about MMA.
I even tucked in my shirt for you. This is from I'm Superman. This is the shirt from, I put this on from the George St. Pierre Bisping fight at Madison Square Garden. I was there for the final GSP fight where he beat Bisping. It was quite an exciting card as well, and that was quite a historic moment to be there. And you knew at that point he pretty much was going to retire, because he stayed in the ring after the fight, probably another 20 minutes, bringing everyone in to take pictures before he left for the evening. But yes, I put this background up for you, and then it's going to be gone after this. And kudos and thank you for joining. And when I heard Brazil, I knew there's a huge love. I've seen well over hundreds of UFC cards, and I've seen a lot of the Brazil cards, and met a number of the fighters along the way as well, which we could discuss, Fabricio and Aldo, and really love and have a passion for UFC, and certainly for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and what it's done to the sport through the years, starting from Royce Gracie in the early days to where it's really become a key part to be a champion in UFC today.
That is perfect. I will show some pictures that you sent me while we talk. Did you see the last fight? Just to people know, we are recording almost 1 week after the Khabib and Gaethje fight. Did you get a chance to see that fight?
Of course, you're not going to miss watching Khabib, who's undefeated. Now you're going back in the old days. I think I was 12 years old in that picture. So this was actually in New York City, and we'll get back to the fight. So this is a picture. I met Anderson. It was him and Chris Weidman were fighting. So they were touring the country to promote it. So absolutely wanted to go down and meet certainly Anderson, and one of the greatest ever in history, and had the opportunity. It was funny. He was actually, when I was there waiting and they brought people to meet him, he was on the phone with his daughter texting back and forth. So it's kind of interesting when you see that. And Chris was there as well, but had the opportunity. This was for the first fight when they, Chris Weidman absolutely, obviously shocked the world when he could knock out Anderson Silva at that point.
I have a good, I remember this fight because it was the first fight that I watched it with my girlfriend at the time, and now it's my wife. So I remember a lot of that fight. So it was
a shock to everyone. So this one is interesting because, when you look at DC as a light heavyweight and heavyweight champ, and I know I need to lose weight. I think I weigh more than him, which is a problem. But I'm amazed when I look at the height, because I'm not that tall, and he's been in the ring with Stipe. He's been in the ring with John Jones, and it's amazing when I look at him. I go, I cannot believe, because I've had the opportunity also to meet John Jones, which you just turn your head and you look, up to him. It is amazing that DC has accomplished based on the size. I mean, this man is truly, I kind of look at his build and the mentality like the Mike Tyson grinder, right? It's wrestling, but it's a grind, and it's a grind. And what he's accomplished been amazing. What he's gone through in his life to become where he is as a double champ. And with retiring, I think he's a great commentator. He's a great role model for the sport. So hats off to him, and having the opportunity. That was outside of Madison Square Garden as well for one of the fights. I think Whitaker was in that card as well. And I think DC was there just to commentate. But yeah, there you go. I'm just watching the weight loss from previous. I think I put on, I've been eating way too much rice and too many quesadillas and too much food. I'm like, thank God I was wearing black. I think I've been wider than him in the belly.
And DC seems to be a really nice guy too, right?
He is. You know what? Everyone was going up to him. I was actually walking along the garden separately myself, and he literally was walking next to me. And it was one of those moments where I just turned to the left. I'm like, wait a minute, there he is. And I'm like, hey, DC, can I grab a quick shot? And he's like, absolutely, which is terrific. And I see that with a lot. We've met a lot of fighters through the years. My son and I have visited a lot of them through the years, gone to a lot of cards. They all of them are really nice guys. They appreciate the audience. They appreciate meeting people. They're great with the fans. Even Conor McGregor, I've met a couple of times. And
I have a picture that you sent me. Let me just put here the picture.
I think anyone who's watching, so obviously Amanda Nunes, and that's my son, who we've gone to a lot of fights together. You could see, and he's not a tall gentleman. She is truly, this is back in, back in the days. This is a while ago in New York when she fought in New York, and look what she's accomplished since then. Absolutely standing, probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, pound for pound fighters for women in the UFC MMA history. And again, very kind woman as well, and a tremendous athlete. I'm just watching the weight loss, Philippe. I'm just watching, looking at, okay, I gained 50 pounds there, 20 kilos here. I needed to stop eating.
So here with Miocic,
I'm really going to take on Stipe with that right cross. I had a good shot at that. I said, let's go for it. Again, what I notice is the hand size of some of the guys, enormous. And again, he is a nice guy. He's a full-time fireman, which is pretty amazing, right? That he does help people in that. Great champion, came back from the DC to really dominate in his next fight, and his next fight coming up again. You know, he's a tough dude, and he's a killer. And truly, again, a great athlete, down to earth, easy to talk to. But I didn't have a shot in hell, and that was probably as close as I'm ever going to put a fist near any fighter who's not going to hit me and knock me out instantly.
And to me, Stipe, it's maybe the most underestimated fighter in the UFC roster today, because
he's very loyal. Yes, and he's loyal to his team and his manager. That's when we were speaking. He's had the same team, same manager. He's like, I'm not leaving him. Very loyal man, and very hardworking in his training. I agree with you. Very underrated for what he's accomplished.
Here with Aldo. Your son, right? Your son and Aldo.
Yeah, I have him in there. I mean, I didn't go next to him. So it was funny. He went to the press conference that Dana ran in Boston. My son will see this interview. He'll crack up. He doesn't know I sent these pictures. I hope he doesn't put a lock on me. So we met Aldo a couple of times, and he actually went. This was the promo for the Aldo Conor McGregor fight, and they were touring the U.S., and this was in Boston. So he went as a college student. He got there at like 5 a.m. for a 2 p.m. conference because he was the first in line. And back then, if you remember, Dana used to do the press conferences all the time where he let fans ask. So he lined up. I knew he would do this. And that's the first UFC shirt for him when they went to Boston, the first McGregor-Holloway fight we went to. So he asked Dana, he's like, hey, it was his birthday. He goes, it's my birthday. He's done this twice with Dana. He said, can I get a picture with you and the fighters? And Dana, in the middle of a press conference, stopped the press conference. Maybe he recognized him previously, and he came down. Dana took that picture, actually. So that is great. With Aldo, and then he got an autograph with Aldo, and, you know, sweetheart of a guy. And Aldo, you know, very disappointing fight. Actually, I sent my son there. I could not go, but he attended that fight. And, you know, everyone expected. And certainly Aldo with his kicks, he was so well known for the kicks. It was amazing. You know, that fight, I think either Conor got into his head or he was just so adrenaline running that he just ran and led with his chin and led to the most, you know, shocking and disappointing finish ever. And you almost feel like you wanted Aldo and McGregor to fight again. Like you just felt like just one more time to put them back in the ring, because Aldo's kicking and his ring skills were unbelievable and truly one of the greatest. So my son's about 5'6", so there you can see the height of that as well.
No, and to me, Aldo was he entered that fight willing to kill Conor, and for me, that's why he got knocked out, because
the emotions killed.
You can't fight. Yes, you can't fight that way.
Right. If he backed up with his breath and didn't even rush the ring and just gave himself that first 10, 20 seconds of just staying away, kind of taking in the breath and putting himself in a mode, I think it would have been a whole different fight, a whole different ending. But he just, you know, he couldn't move fast enough across the ring. He couldn't move, like you said, his emotions and everything he had to endure from the way Conor was taunting him and being negative to him and making fun of the belt and everything. He just, unfortunately, he played into the mind game and didn't keep, you know, which is taught in martial arts, right? Discipline, silence, patience, and waiting for the right opportunity.
And last question, last photo now. You and Conor. We were talking about
him a couple of times, certainly at the first Holloway fight, another one. What was interesting is with Conor when he came over, and again, he's a big personality. I've met him a few times. We were at, again, one of the promotions. I forgot which one, and there was a huge crowd. It was Conor was, again, getting his big heyday. He had 50 reporters around him, and he was interviewing and then looking towards the side, and I was there because I had a picture of him with my son. So I held it up because I got there early, hoping that I can get my son an autograph picture with Conor. And as he was doing the interview, he looked over and he kind of tilted his head, looked, and I went like this, holding the picture, and he holds the finger, goes like this. He continues interviewing, again, surrounded by photographers, cameras everywhere. The interview ended. He got up, he walked right through the reporters, right to everyone. He walked right to me. And he said, give me the picture. Let me sign it for you. Signed it for the son. And he said, here, take a picture with me. And then he said that, and then he went back. I mean, again, for everything he said with Conor, I was like, you know what? That was really nice to do, and certainly made for a nice gift for my son.
Yes, and Conor also seems to be a nice guy too. He's just a character. Like he needs to be that way because he's selling more fights. He's earning more money. So, but he seems to be a good guy. At least I have that impression.
Everyone is different, you know, like you said, everyone's different. They all have their issues, and everybody, you see one out there in the public, like you said, to promote, other outside, and there's certain moments. But overall, and I think I sent you, we were there when the UFC introduced the Reebok uniforms in 2015. We met them all. They flew in, Conor, Khabib, Ronda was there, Paige, and all that. And we had the opportunity because they had them walking in the street to go between where they put on the uniforms to that. We met them all, my son, we took pictures, and very down to earth, very nice people, always appreciative of the fans. And I think that's something that's pretty unique and different when you look at UFC and MMA. They train in the gym. People don't appreciate all the training, all the gym time, the hours they put into their lives. So when they come out for the 2 or 3 fights a year, they're really engaging with the fans in nice and kind. I think it's truly appreciated by everyone and makes a unique athlete. And then, like I said, in Brazil, hats off to, you know, MMA. When you look at the upbringing of Aldo, when they look at where they learned to fight and their backgrounds and where they accomplished, it's truly admirable, and they're role models. And I think it's truly impressive. And I'm glad to see MMA, UFC has built up to where it is, that it's highly respected as a sport. And from where back at UFC 1, where you just put different people in and there were no real, you know, combat outside of what Hoist brought to the rules to show, hey, you can bring discipline and real fighting to it. And now you look at the athletes, and I think they're some of the greatest athletes in the world today. When you look at what they have to manage in skills, the weight cuts, and the discipline, truly amazing. So we can keep going, but I think at some point we want to hit AR. So it's rare in most of my discussions we get to talk UFC. So, and my investors are looking on, boy, I didn't realize he's so into UFC. I think what he didn't use is actually when I lived in India, I went to SFL, which is Super Fight League, which was, you know, in India, they were very, you know, very niche-y. Nobody really knew about it. And I actually went to Super Fight League in India when living there in early 2000s. See, I sent him some pictures. See, there you go. My belly only sticks. I have to keep away from the light shirt. So that's actually the ring, the SFL in India, which is, again, pretty cool to see one in a different world, you know, certainly in India, where it's not as big as it is here. And yesterday I was talking to someone, actually, they brought up UFC as well. And I asked him, have you ever gone to a live card? Philippe, have you gone to any of these live cards?
Yes. So actually, I went to some tiny MMA events in Rio. One called the Shoto. Actually, it's an event that is produced by André Pederneiras, which is Aldo's coach, and he has this very famous. It's kind of it's a tiny organization, but it's very famous in Rio, and I went there a few times. I really love it, man. I'm a real fan of MMA too.
In the blood, you know, if you're Brazilian, you love MMA. And I always tell people, as much as you watch it on TV, and then now because of COVID-19, you don't get the crowds. But when you go live and you get to those pay-per-view cards, I don't think, you know, going to baseball, hockey, NFL, I've seen all the sports. There's nothing like a UFC crowd on the main event, the prime top fight, and then just being there with the electricity, the energy in the crowd, and just seeing these two guys walk into the cage and close the cage, and Bruce Buffer, you know, doing its time. It's one of the moments I always say everyone should have experienced once in their lives in the world of sports. It's truly, you know, it's a chilling moment and exciting in sports. All right, we can go back to AR now, but we can continue on. We can do 2 shows. We can do a UFC show, and then we'll do the AR show.
Like I mentioned before the interview, I will introduce you to a good friend of mine called Renato. He has one of the biggest MMA YouTube channels in Brazil. He's also a commentator at ESPN Brazil. So I'll introduce you to him. You will
I
probably
don't know
get
what
a.
I'll do, but I'll have to get more posters, UFC pictures. I did send the pictures along, to be shared, but it's just, I love talking UFC, as you know. I mean, we're up to about 25 minutes, and we've said AR once, and that's a rarity.
So let's talk about AR now. So explain to those who don't know, what is Imagine AR and what do you do, please?
Yes, absolutely. So Imaginear is a mobile augmented reality company. We focus on delivering engagement, specifically for sports fan engagement and activation using mobile phones. AR, most people remember back in a few years ago in 2016, I'm assuming it was big, Philippe, with you down there, was Pokemon Go, right?
Yeah.
Everyone running around with Pokemon. That was the first moment where people realized that AR, augmented reality, had a tremendous opportunity to engage people on their phones. In that case, it was people running around collecting Pokemon. And obviously having the Pokemon come back, that brand for it really drove it. But we took that kind of concept and took it up into the world of business. The ability to engage fans and consumers using their phone with a digital overlay looking through the phone. So as you use your phone, you could see, for example, a player standing in your living room. We could do that. You could put videos up when you point to logos of teams or images. You could deliver coupons for stores. So again, in today's new paradigm, it's a clear, easy way to engage people that's outside of the social media clutter. Social media, everyone's posting to Twitter, Facebook. I don't know if those are big down there, Philippe, or there are other ones that people just post and post. How do you stand out? How do you drive revenue? AR gives you a way to do it uniquely and differently as a one-to-one kind of relationship and really build that community and to drive revenue.
And you provide something very interesting. That is a AR as a service platform where clients can create their own campaigns with no programming or technology experience. How does that work?
Absolutely. Good question. So we have a website that is accessed on a desktop. It's called imaginearstudio.com. Everyone who's watching can go to it now. It's free. And you have the ability to set up your own AR activation. Now, AR could be done two ways. First way is when you use our app, it's Imagine AR. It's in the mobile app stores. We also plug into anyone's existing mobile app. It's called an SDK. So if I'm a football team and I have an existing app and I want to build AR activations into it, we have the ability to integrate instantly into their platform and deliver these activations. So using Imagine AR Studio, you could deliver an AR activation by pointing your phone at an image, a picture, a sign, or a logo, or dropping it at any location in the world. Just type in the address and it'll appear there. So for example, we did like a Mother's Day card here, augmented reality here in the US for a flower shop. So consumers went to the flower store website, ordered the flowers, and then they videotaped a message of themselves with a special message to the loved one. We instantly delivered it through the website to the house of the person receiving the bouquet. And when they received their Mother's Day bouquet, they open it up, they download our app, and then that video showed up right in the house as if it's an HDTV floating in the living room, right in front playing the message. So you have the ability to use imaginearstudio.com for free, everyone, and create your own AR activations for fun as well as for business today.
And is it something simple? Is it something that requires a lot of development? How much time? Or is it
No.
depends on the complexity of the campaign that you are trying to create? How does that work?
Good question. We have different levels with Imagine AR, but specifically in this case, the Imagine AR Studio allows you to do easy and simple. You don't need to be a programmer. You don't need to be technical. You don't need any technical background whatsoever. You can go in there and within minutes create your own Imagine AR activation and see it on your phone instantly. So that is the key of what we built. We also built business versions called the SaaS model, software as a service. So a business person create one on monthly basis, many different AR activations to drive engagement in the store, at people's houses. We also tie into sports. So if, say, for example, a football game is streaming or UFC MMA thing is streaming on screen, you can put little logos on the screen using our enterprise SaaS and point your phone at the logos while you're watching. It could bring up AR immersive experiences. It could be commercials, it could be coupons, it could be the mascot dancing 3D. It's whatever you want. So it's the second, they call that the second screen experience. When everyone watches sports or entertainment on TV or on a big screen, they always have their phone with them, right? Everyone's holding their phone. So use that phone as another engagement tool, another interactive tool to make that passive watching of a stream interactive and immersive, and then drive people to an activity, whether it's go to a website to sign up, to earn rewards, or get a coupon. So it's the next level engagement. And as we continue getting through COVID, this is a way to engage and drive revenue uniquely. I think AR is the only way through the mobile phone to do that and to get consumers out and purchasing and out and driving certain opportunities and interactivity that businesses want that ultimately will drive revenue.
That is great. That is great. And how is the business model? Is it a kind of a license fee that clients pay per month, or do you charge per campaign?
Correct. So we basically, we have the Imaginear studio, which is up and running. We made it free with COVID-19 for small businesses to create their own AR activations and use our mobile app, Imaginear, to consume it and deliver these campaigns for free to help them get traffic and build revenue. But we have a model of either whether it's our SDK, which is a plug-in to an existing mobile app, or our enterprise SaaS model. They are monthly fees that are fixed monthly fees that allow you to run unlimited amount of AR activations, both visual and GPS. So you're not limited. You can create as many campaigns as you want or as little. It's up to you. If you want to create scavenger hunts and you have the SDK, which plugs into your existing app, you have an unlimited amount of scavenger hunts. You can create like one in a city. So if you were in, Rio, say, for example, you can create a scavenger hunt for downtown shopping. So people would have to visit stores, use the phone, and maybe for Christmas, right? You have Santa Claus and reindeer or other Christmas things, and each store I get a different scene. And while I'm there, I get a coupon for that store in my phone instantly while I'm seeing the AR. So it really becomes a fun, immersive experience rather than just a piece of paper or something physical or posting on social media. It gives that special engagement and fun way using the phone. But again, because of COVID-19, a clean and social distance way to engage people to ultimately drive the revenue.
That is actually that is a question that I would like to ask. Did the pandemic change the perception about the importance of technologies like AR to keep fans engaged in a time where we have those social restrictions that you mentioned?
Absolutely.
Do you think that it's hard to talk about something good in a period like that, but can you take positive things about the pandemic related to your company, to AR and to your company?
I think, Philippe, you hit it, perfectly correct in your statement. Prior to COVID-19, the pandemic, AR was a nice to have. It's nice and it's cool, but I'm not sure how to monetize or make money. When COVID hit, and then people are in their homes, consumers, they're remote, and they're not in store, they're not in stadium. How do I continue to engage them, build my community, drive revenue, sponsorship opportunities? AR has become from a kind of nice to have to a must have. So it's really changing. Like you said, it's been, a horrific pandemic, and it's not good in any sense of the word of what's happened. And we're not out of the woods yet. And we're continuing forward still in the pandemic, probably through next year. And who knows when full audiences and full fans will get back into stadiums to watch games. So AR gives a great tool to engage fans remotely and instantly. For example, if I was watching a football match, you could drop, Messi or someone right into someone's house through a green screen, right into their house. You could see him, take pictures with him. You can have the coach discuss the team. You can point at certain logos or signs that are around on the screen to get the activations, whether it's videos or images or coupons. So yes, it has sped up the adoption of technologies. What was Zoom a couple of years ago, right? No one knew Zoom. And it's almost, I've said to people, it's like when Xerox, years ago in the US, we used to call Xerox making a copy. That was the brand. But it was basically making a copy. Right now, everyone goes, I'm going to Zoom, right? It's become the assumption that I'm going to get on the web and I'm going to talk to someone and we're going to Zoom. AR has become one that is, the adoption is something that everyone who's watching, you will experience it. The global market of AR is currently estimated to be about 4 or 5 billion USD. It is estimated by a number of analysts, especially ones that specialize in the field, it will hit 45 to $50 billion in 4 years. So everyone's going to be doing AR, and it'll be part of everyday life for everyone in Brazil, in US, around the world.
I totally agree. And I'm really looking forward to see how the world will be when those technologies like AR and other technologies are more into the society. Maybe when people start using goggles, AR goggles, it will be
Right.
even better, right?
Right.
So
And those will be the glasses. And I think people are looking at Apple to be the tipping point. So it's been leaked, Apple glasses. And I think there's a couple of steps. Look at that. Mobile phones, everyone has one. There's 5 billion plus mobile phones today. And that will continue to be the prime engagement level for augmented reality because everyone has one. They're low cost. It's in the pocket. The glasses are estimated to come out anywhere between $300 to $500 USD. So initially, when it comes out, you've got is someone going to spend as much for the glasses as they are for the phone? And secondarily, you don't have enough content for people to consume, right? So the key with glasses is when I'm walking out in a physical world, I can look at things, see signs, and then AR occurs. So we're probably 3 to 5 years away to see that mass adoption of glasses. But initially, the mobile phone, which is growing very quickly, is the key right now for augmented reality. But how long do people want to walk around, right, holding a phone and pointing at things? That ultimately it will go to glasses. And the glasses will be tethered to the phone using Bluetooth. So the phone still will be the central point of delivering the AR activations. Here in the US, it's also the growth of 5G. When 5G comes out as the next high-speed network for phones, you have a lot of high performance that allow delivery of these experiences of digital overlay and videos and augmented reality right to the glasses and have really immersive and cool experiences.
Yes. So talking about the clients, what clients have you worked with or are working with now?
So we've worked with a lot in the sports world. We have clients like the NBA Sacramento Kings. We work with the Basketball Hall of Fame in the United States. We actually worked with the Mall of America, the largest retail mall in the world, maybe in the world, I don't know, and certainly in the US, where they did a scavenger hunt for shopping, for people to walk around and scavenger hunt. We worked with Motor Trends magazine. They did a car show, and again, using a scavenger hunt. We work with AT&T. Again, scavenger hunt. So creating the Pokemon Go-like experience, but for brands. And I think we're starting to see now, we recently signed a 5-year partnership with the NFL alumni. We signed Valencia FC, the football club in Spain. They have 7 million fans worldwide. We're going to integrate with their existing mobile app. And Franco, the IT director there, has a lot of plans for leveraging AR to engage fans in their home, because obviously the pandemic is impacting fan attendance in Spain as well. So they're going to do engagement of, again, they take green screen videos of players and then drop it into people's houses. They're going to do activations of logos. So I believe you're going to see a lot of AR really start to become mainstream as we go forward towards the end of this year in the Christmas holiday season through 2021 and beyond. And we have a lot of clients, and we just see a lot of growth opportunities as we go forward, not only in sports, but in music, healthcare, entertainment, retail, education. It's almost anything, right, Philippe? Anywhere you can engage people while they're using their phones, either physically or while they're looking at a second screen, whether it be on TV or on the web on their computer.
Education too, right? I saw some applications for children. Instead of just reading a book, and you can put your cell phone and all the pictures of the book, they start to
Exactly.
So this is really great. And also to universities, right? When you said that your doctor, your son is a doctor, when you go to medicine school, it's really cool too. So you can see even better all the body and all that kind of stuff. So
yes, and it all comes to life. And again, that will be better when glasses come, right? So I can look at a textbook, and then while in the glasses, it all comes to me. But we actually also signed with the University of Pittsburgh. They have an MBA program And they're actually centering a course starting early next year in January on teaching AR and VR to MBA students. And we are going to be the prime product, meaning Imaginear Studio, for them to learn about AR and engage campaigns locally in the city of Pittsburgh in the United States. So you're looking at secondary education opportunities in universities teaching AR and VR as tools as the next generation comes up to be a new digital communication channel, just like social media was years ago.
That is really, really great. And what about Latin America? Do you have clients here? And if not, is it a region that you are looking into?
So we've been working on the platform for over 3.5+ years. We recently, we've been in the US, we've obviously in Canada as a Canadian public company. We have opened up offices and representation in the UK and Europe just a few months ago, this past summer. Just announced the Middle East into Dubai and other countries last week. And South America and certainly Brazil is a market we want to be in. Our application is there. Our platform works there. Our mobile app is there. And we are looking to expand. So certainly, Philippe, if you want to work with us and open up the market, we can spend half our conversation talking UFC, MMA, and the other half about AR markets. Or there's other businesses that are watching this, this webcast and say, I want to bring AR into Brazil. We're open to it. And certainly businesses contact us through our website, imaginear.com, and contact us. But absolutely, the Latin American market is a target for us. And we're excited to expand globally as we continue going forward. I just announced today also our company, I'm speaking at the Global XR Bootcamp, it's called, Global XR Bootcamp. And you're going to have many speakers 24 hours in a row in different streams. I'll be speaking about sports with AR, which is one of the areas we focus on. But it's a good networking and learning opportunity as well for all your viewers as well who want to understand how to leverage mixed reality, augmented reality, and virtual reality into business to drive engagement and revenue.
That is great. That is great. So, Alen, I have questions about the future now. The first one is, what is the role that augmented reality has in the future of sports, in your opinion?
So you're seeing it already. Major League Baseball just integrated Snapchat filters. Again, wish it was us, but it was them. And the ability to use AR as a filter. You're seeing NBA now, where the Clippers, they have cameras over their NBA in their stadium, and they're going to start video and live streaming the games, and they're going to overlay data of the player, what's their percentage of shooting, where they are successful or not. So you're going to start seeing AR overlay the viewing experience both on TV, on the phone, and then with glasses. So the foundation is being set now. We use AR for fan engagement, using the phone as the second screen, and you're going to see a major growth of that area, I believe, in the next 12 months to 24 months. It's going to grow significantly because it's something that when we go out, we get approached by teams, we've spoken to a lot. They are looking for engagement, certainly with the pandemic, how to grab fans' attentions, engage them, because viewership is down on TV. If you look at even the NBA Finals, NBA being one of the most popular sports worldwide, and the viewership was down enormously because of the pandemic. So how do you engage people? AR is going to be it. But you're going to see overlay of AR while you're viewing live stream over top of players, statistics. And I think that's also lending itself to get into esports, which is growing exponentially around the world, and leveraging esports with AR as well as gambling. And I think gambling is something that can't be negated, that is growing as we continue in the pandemic. So if you look at AR, where you're getting statistics, player information, live streaming, and then you have the gambling component, they will all integrate to a new type of experience in people viewing sports and engaging them from an adult perspective.
Great. And how do you see the evolution of this technology, where AR can go, in your opinion?
I think it's unlimited, right? We're starting on the phone. The glass is already being manufactured. Excuse me. The plans are for Apple. I think will be the tipping point. They're coming out with something called applets. So when you're walking around with glasses, the applets are like an Apple QR code where you can look at the glasses and then it will dynamically deliver AR experiences. So where is it going? As you walk down the streets of any city in the world, you'll be wearing glasses. We always laugh, you know, anyone who's been in AR always goes back to the Tom Cruise movie, The Minority Report. If you've seen that down there, Philippe, where he walks on the glass and says, hey, how are you? There'll be personalized interactions and advertisements directed to you through your glasses. That is the future, and we're going to get there. And mobile will be the beginning point, and then AI will be interrelated with AR, and that's something we already have plans on our roadmap. So say I'm walking into a football stadium. The mascot appears right in front of me through the glasses, and it knows, hey, Philippe, nice to see you again. We haven't seen you since last game. What would you like? I am in the mood to have a burger before I go to my seat. Where can I get a hamburger? And it'll actually interact with you on the glass, say, let's go up to the second floor. They're open now, and it'll lead you up to it. It's called wayfinding, and it'll lead you through it. That's where we're going. And the piece is already there. You have AR, you have AI, wayfinding, which is AR. You have Google Map taking you. Think of putting all that together in real time. And then we're in, I guess, Black Mirror. If you see on Netflix, you know, the irony of life where they did the one with the social media, whereas you walked around, you saw people's rankings.
Yeah.
You're engaging the real world as you walk past stores, videos, coupons. And, you know, it's funny. And when I talk to people about it, they go, oh, it's going to be so much noise. It's so overwhelming. Well, then take off the glasses. You know, when we walk through Times Square in New York, which I've been through thousands of times, you walk through, there's signs, there's lights, it's all that billboard, and that's exciting to people. But at this point, it'll go to the glasses, and then it'll be personalized. So it'll know you, Felipe, versus myself, versus someone else. So you're going to see ads that are going to be delivered uniquely to you because you're a fan of UFC, and then maybe with your wife, there'll be fashion ones or something for your children. And that's what's going to happen. Dynamic AR in glasses, off a phone, uniquely personalized, as you engage in the real world. It's pretty amazing stuff. And we always said it's futuristic, but that's where we're going to be in the next 3 to 5 years, maybe longer.
That is really, really amazing. And you mentioned the noise, but I believe that it can be maybe just like the smartphone today. You can, like, if you don't want, you don't get push notifications. So it can be kind of something like that, right?
I think I understand, but you know what? If anyone is watching, you know, there's a lot of talk here in the US about the Netflix movie Social Dilemma, which gets a lot of people concerned, you know, and how many people who are watching have been talking about something and then on their phone, all of a sudden an ad shows up that's related to, wait a minute, I never did a search. Or when you go to sites and then that cookie little stays with you and all of a sudden you see their ads wherever you go on the internet. So think of that with AR. And yes, you could turn off the noise, but the other side is it's pretty, you know, pretty challenging. When we took the approach to AR, we do not touch that data. It's third-party data. Our clients own that data. We don't look to resell it. We want that to be the focus of them and stay in the platform business. We don't want to be in there tracking people, seeing what they're doing. That's not our business model. It's engaging, it's fun and interactive, but it's not something that we're focused on in that area today. But that's something that, you know, the Social Dilemma certainly woke up a lot of people, that movie. And anyone here who's watching this should take a look at it. But imagine that while you're talking to your wife and then you're walking down the street and all of a sudden ads start showing up on your glasses in AR that are related to the conversation you literally had 2 hours ago. It's pretty wild.
So, Alen, we are approaching the end now. Last question. What is the company's vision for the next 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years if everything goes according to plan?
I thought your last question was on the next Conor McGregor fight against Dustin. What's going to happen in UFC in early 20? Man, I thought that was the real last question. I see, you know, we are focused on being a platform business that can deliver AR to any type of hardware device. We're focused on AR engagement and activation, whether it be mobile, whether it be glasses, whether it be, you know, Apple phones or other devices on computer with web AR, and to focus on engagement and having anyone, any business have an economical, easy way to do AR to promote themselves. So everyone always says that we want to democratize AR. We want to make it easy, low cost, and quick to deliver that, to drive business for anyone, and revenue and engagement, sports teams, retail, education, and we will be the go-to platform in the world of AR to publish it and then allow you to have any device, any glasses, any mobile phone, anywhere in the world to consume it and to enjoy AR as we go forward. And that is our mission, and we're full steam ahead on it in terms of our product roadmap as we continue today.
That is a great mission. So, Alen, thank you so much for your time, for being here, sharing all your knowledge with us, all your UFC stories with us. It was great. I'd like to give you space to send our audience a message.
What other message? I'm not sure what message outside of, certainly always look at it as, entrepreneurial opportunities and encountering situations is something that how you want to make a difference in the world. I always believe in try and do something that has a bigger impact rather than you just locally. And I always believe also in karma. Life, you should always do the right thing, the good thing, the best thing. Always do what's right for people. And then karma, I believe, is real and always comes back to you as well. So, and never give up as well. No matter how things are, I've seen a lot of things. I've been around the world. I was actually at 9/11 right across the street in the towers of New York. And, seeing something like that and then turning it in a way that can benefit people and help. In that case, I actually started a new business from that. But for people to look at the bright side and be optimistic, the glass always should be half full, not half empty, and count your blessings and always look to do something good every day, whether it's for yourself, your family, your neighbors, and always be good and healthy. And when it comes to pandemic, stick to vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc, and always wear a mask.
Thank you. That was a great message. So, Alen, thank you. I'll speak a little bit of Portuguese now, okay?
Absolutely. And again, you can call me anytime you want to do a UFC discussion. I am available after cards. We won't do the Joe Rogan live broadcast fight companion, but I certainly don't mind discussing it.
No, when this pandemic ends and events start again in Brazil, you should come to Brazil so we can go to an event together.
There we go. Just so, what is that one, that chant we discussed? I have to learn how to say.
Yes, vai morrer.
That's it. I remember hearing that for many years. I can join that chant, but it depends on who's fighting on that. So sometimes I won't say that.
Ok. Pessoal, esse então foi o Alen Paul Silverrstieen, uma pessoa muito bacana. Vocês viram aí um cara que sabe muito, né, da Imaginear, ele que é o fundador e o CEO da Imaginear. Vocês viram o quanto essa tecnologia é muito importante. Pô, a visão de futuro que ele deu aqui é realmente incrível, do quanto a realidade aumentada vai impactar nas nossas vidas, não só dentro do esporte, mas eu acho que na sociedade como um todo. Vocês viram como ele é simpático aqui, a gente trocou uma ideia muito bacana também sobre o UFC. Eu sou muito fã do UFC também, assim como ele. Então, espero que essa conversa tenha sido muito bacana aí para vocês, para que vocês saibam o quanto essa tecnologia vai impactar no mundo. Antes de me despedir, só lembrar a vocês que toda terça e toda quinta, aqui no canal da Pluri, às 16 horas, a gente tem o Enzima Live Show, onde os assuntos são inovação, tecnologia, digital, startups, esportes eletrônicos, e depois essas conversas viram podcasts e vocês podem ouvir nas principais plataformas, como o Spotify, o Deezer e o Google Podcasts. Muito obrigado pela presença de vocês e até o próximo episódio. Tchau, tchau.